it's Dr. Rick. So this unboxing is on 5-HTP. 5-HTP is also known as 5-hydroxytryptophan. So this is a product that's sold over at Walgreens. And I don't usually get Walgreens brand, I just don't. But I always go with my consumer lab subscription as far as their suggestions for what has been approved. And Consumer Labs is pretty independent. And I think that as far as 5-HTP goes, it's not, I don't think it's that crucial, but it is a very good building block. It's a very good building block for, if you watch my video on seasonal affective disorder. In fact, I have a part of the documentation here, so I think I showed this on my video. And down here we talk about 5-HTT. And there is a conversion that sometimes if you have that gene that you can't convert 5-HTT or you don't have that, then you won't really make 5-HTP or can't enzymatically process 5-HTP. So this is 5-HTP. And this is how it looks. Serving size is 2 capsules. So that's the capsules. Hopefully you can see that. That's how they look. They're not that big. But, this was fairly cheap. I think it was 11 bucks, if I'm not mistaken. And Finest Nutrition comes with 30 capsules each. So this will last 2 weeks. I really think that this should be enough to push your circadian rhythm so it works better. And I have this here, vitamin B12, as a reminder for me, because we'll talk about this right now. So I mentioned about the 5-HTT deficiency in some people that had a propensity to develop seasonal affective disorder or seasonal pattern of depression. And if you have that gene, it's unfortunate. Now this is a small study, but they broke it down into the gene part of figuring out who's going to be exposed to seasonal affective disorder. And seasonal affective disorder happens when the eyes, the retina, notices a shift, a daytime shift in decreasing the light hours per day. So usually what happens is summer is a lot of light hours per day, 12. And then as fall comes, you have a compression. It'll still be sunny outside, but you have a compression. And as winter comes, it's really limited, an hour to 2 hours a day. The eyes pick that up. So the eyes usually work as an extension of the brain. So this is my eyeball. This is where it usually touches the brain, and then this is the brain stem. This is called something called a pineal gland. So when darkness is positively affecting the retina will make melatonin. The pineal gland also makes melatonin. Melatonin, as some of you know, if you spray it in your mouth or you take a pill at night, it's supposed to provide you that building block that makes you sleepy. Some people believe that high doses of melatonin will actually stop metastasis of breast cancer tissue. I think I saw a couple of articles in NIH that talked about its possible effect, and I got it here. Melatonin for the treatment or possible use in cancer. Small study, but it's not bad. I mean, downside is 0. You can take as much melatonin as you want. So some of us take it for breast cancer, and a lot of breast cancer sufferers are off with their sleep because of the chemotherapy and the pain. So I think it would be helpful. Now, if you specifically use melatonin to bypass the pineal gland and just have a high dose of melatonin, 3 milligrams every night, same time every night, in addition to darkening your room, lowering the temperature, decreasing the noise, not drinking so much water before you sleep, it should help you get to sleep, slow brain waves, restful sleep, rebuilding those microglia in the brain, and then helping the muscles rejuvenate. Now, sometimes what happens, a more important thing is, the eyes do make melatonin, and the eyes can tell the brain time to wake up because of the light that it sees, no more melatonin being made, or darkness that it experiences, time to go to sleep, when melatonin is really profoundly produced. Now, that just happens to do with regards to exposure of light, and this is how sensitive the retina will be to shifts in total hours per day. Now the retina is just a receptor, but the suprachiasmatic nucleus is the thing that makes the big change and interprets and sets the master switch as far as circadian rhythm. Now, as far as making your own melatonin, if you wanted to, you would figure, why do you, if for seasonal affective disorder, why do you even have to bother with melatonin or 5-HTP? Why don't you just take melatonin? Well, there's other reasons. I mean, number one, you'll have a building block for melatonin when you take 5-HTP. This is 200 milligrams. I'd probably do 100 milligrams every night and see how it works, and then go to 200 after that. Downside, very low. Now, if you're on a SSRI, Prozac, Paxil, Zoloft, Effexor, or the other ones, SNRIs, you have to be careful because this can cause a serotonin syndrome issue, so please make sure it's okay with your doctor. I think if you take actually this first, and then you add your serotonin uptake inhibitor, that would be a good balance. But taking serotonin, the SSRI first, and then adding this, you could be asking for trouble because of the withdrawal. Anyway, so you ask, why would you want to do that when you can just take melatonin? Well, there's other benefits. So this is the typical production line pathway of making melatonin. First, you take tryptophan, and you can get that in meat, certain meats, certain seeds. Turkey is, everybody knows that for Thanksgiving. Pumpkin seeds too, and that's for Halloween. So tryptophan can be made, but tryptophan is hydroxylated to 5-hydroxytryptophan, which is what, if you just go ahead and take it, you'll not have to worry about the tryptophan. So 5-hydroxytryptophan is decarboxylated to serotonin. Bingo. Serotonin is that neurotransmitter that we're trying to build up when you take Zoloft, Paxil, and Prozac. So what do we do that for? Well, we want the depression in seasonal affective disorder to go away. How? Raising serotonin. So why? Because you just took 5-hydroxytryptophan. So I think that when the season changes, it would be nice to take this as a building block for if you need more serotonin. So the other thing that happens with serotonin is not only does it act as a neurotransmitter, helps the brain work, helps the gut work, keeps you peaceful and calm, it gets converted to N-acetyl serotonin, and then that gets converted to melatonin. The melatonin will be helping blood pressure, circadian rhythm, muscle, heart, glands work better. The other thing I want you to notice here is that this gets converted to melatonin via something over here. And those of you who watched my videos from before, there you go. That's the MTHFR cycle. So you need to donate a methyl group to turn this into melatonin. So if you don't have a functioning MTHFR cycle, or you're MTHFR deficient, or you're not utilizing B2, B6, B12 folate properly, you're not going to make enough melatonin. You might have a problem with easily going into a sleep disorder or easily going into seasonal affective disorder. So I think that that was my take on it. But if you can get to the point where, so enough of that science, but hopefully that gives you a little bit of an understanding of why this might be important during the winter months. So if I was to start anything, I'd probably say, it's already started. We had 2 months of sun, July and August, and then done. So September went and came fast. It is now raining every day, at least as far as I know in the clinic. I'm about to leave, it's dark. I came in, it was dark. So already the day is shortened, but I should know by now I have to do this, or take St. John's wort, or something else, work on my circadian rhythm to reset my sleep cycle, my wake cycle for this winter season. Now it's still sunny out, but the brain can tell, and those of you who are super sensitive to seasonal affective disorder, you might want to get started sooner. Now if you watch my video, I'll put it down below on SAD. It'll give you ideas of how to beat that, whether it's by light box therapy or medicines. I think this is a very good alternative as well. I didn't mention this in my video, but I'm going to link it in the video somehow. So check it out, try your best. As far as what choice, well, You can go better than, I hate to say better, but I'm just a little apprehensive with Walgreens, but Consumer Labs found exactly what was on the label in the capsules. So with an independent batch test, I think that's fair enough. So for something like this, I wouldn't be too worried. Hardly any adulterants. For omega-3 fish oil, I might be worried. For turmeric, I might be worried. So Reggie's rice, same thing. I've seen some things that you have to be careful about because of all of their adulterants, but this, I really don't think you have to worry. In fact, I think a lot of this comes from one plant, and Griffonia extract. So Griffonia is a plant, you'll see it on the back of this thing. Most 5-HTPs come from that, so hopefully you can get that. I think I just lost it, sorry. But I'll put a link down below. All 5-HTP comes from Griffonia. It's good that it is only one plant. You can harvest it pretty easy. You can grow it anywhere. I don't think it's like a weed or like hemp where it sucks in all the toxins from the ground. Pretty safe. So hopefully you give it a try, but if you're going to use it, it might take up to 9 weeks. And you might have to take it with your B-complex materials sublingually or in a drink. You're supposed to take it at night, so try not to do too much of a drink. Otherwise, you take this down and you're going to be peeing the fluids. So do it with a sip of water. Or do it with a sublingual. If you could do it with sublingual vitamin B, this is powdered vitamin B. Or just have B in your sips, in your dinner, and hopefully it'll continue to last through the night into when you take this. I'd probably do this about 30 minutes before sleep. I think that's a fair amount of time for it to be absorbed, hopefully get it digested, pass through the liver, and then into the bloodstream for its chemical reaction. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea of what usually happens. If you have any comments down below on a brand that you might like, if 5-HTP, put it down below. Otherwise, I'll see you at the next unboxing.